Hello, good afternoon. Hope everyone is well and we had a nice holiday.
Yeah, how about you?
Fine. I'm down in South Carolina, so it's a tough drive.
Yeah, 95 can be awful.
Awful. A bunch of exclamation points. Awful.
I think Katie talked to him.
Good morning, sir.
Good afternoon.
How you doing today?
Great. How are you?
All right.
Happy holidays to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Same to you, sir. How was your holiday?
Fine. Some challenges, but fine.
Oh, okay. Well, that's life for us.
That's it. That's life.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to live it.
Yeah, it is a part of what we do. Live life, make sure our families are well taken care of, and I guess that's the best we can do at this point.
Yeah. Folks are a little slow.
Well, I mean, sometime it is the last meeting of the year, so I guess everybody.
And it's
wants to-
holiday. Everybody's
Yeah.
still celebrating. That's good.
I'm just gonna get my paper in order for a second here. Carrie? Okay. Carrie, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you resend Bob the link?
sure.
Okay. She's gonna send it to you now, Bob.
That was a crusty part. It was good.
Looks like we have enough for a quorum. Do we know Mayor Schmoke's going to join?
Do not know.
Okay. Hey, Carrie, I was opening up the link that I had from the email from Katie back in May. So I didn't know you had changed it. Who is Stuart Nathan?
New Nathan, by way of introduction, is the principal counsel for the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services. Paul Mayhew retired effective December 20th. And so Stu is available to provide legal advice to the ACC.
Oh, great. Good. Appreciate that. Well,
Stu, Bob is the acting chair of the statewide ACC. The other two participating members are Rodney Burrell and Donna Brown. Judge Mitchell has been appointed by Speaker Jones to replace Mayor Schmoke, who retired effective tomorrow, or resigned from the committee effective tomorrow. So he's a non-voting member. He's been through the training, but he's not able to participate in the hearing, or I mean in the meeting. But just by way of introductory training, he's been attending the last couple meetings.
great. Good. Well, why don't we call the statewide ACC December 30th, 2024 meeting to order. The only announcement I want to make is to let you know that I did talk to Stuart. Stuart said he's recovering well. He's got a meeting with his doctor the first of the year, and he will be making a determination at that time whether or not he's going to be able to continue to join us. So I will find out sometime the first of the year. With that, Carrie, do we do the statement now or after we go into closed session?
No, first we need to approve the minutes from November.
I'm sorry. Can I get a motion for approval of the minutes for last month?
I make a motion that the minutes of November be accepted.
Can I get a second? Donna? Donna, your speaker's off.
Sorry, I was mute. I second. My apologies.
All in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Okay, minutes are approved.
Aye.
Gary, what's next?
A motion to go to closed.
Okay, can I get a motion to go to closed session?
I make a motion that we go to closed session at this time for review of our
A motion
cases.
to go to close.
No, I'll take that as a second. All in
Aye.
favor, say aye. Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, we're,
Aye.
It
we,
is, do we want to do the, conflict of interest
yes,
statements?
please.
Yes.
I'm Bob Brennan. I've read all the files. I do not have any conflicts. Rodney?
I, Rodney Burrell, have read all the files for the current cases under review, and I have no conflict of interest at this time.
I, Donna Brown, have reviewed all the files and do not have any conflicts of interest at the.
All right, it is proposed that the statewide administrative charging committee's open session of its 24th meeting on December 30th of 2024 be adjourned to a closed session. The session will be closed under the authority of General Provisions Article 3-305B1, 2, and 7 of the Annotated Code of Maryland. The reason for closing this session is to discuss the appointment and employment of an individual over whom the committee has jurisdiction, and to protect the privacy or reputation of an individual with respect to the matter that is not related to public business, and to obtain legal advice on the matter. During this closed session, the topics to be discussed are administrative charging committee cases.
Right. With that, we will start our agenda. Carrie sent out a spreadsheet. The first item on there is the Maryland Transit Administration, Officer Lauren Biddle. I'm not sure if anybody had any comments on this. You may have noticed we had a call on Friday to review the CCTV video footage that was requested. I requested it because the write-up, I guess, to be called very brief and abbreviated. There was an allegation of an individual, member of the public, Mr. Harper, who was arrested, and the allegations that the department were looking at was use of force, excessive force. If you read the write-up, he actually said it was an unlawful arrest and the officers were rude and discourteous. We've run into this in the past where the Transit Administration does not have body-worn camera. And I wanted to see how this video played out in accordance with the investigation. Did anybody have any issues with their reading of this investigation other than me? Rodney or Donna?
I haven't seen the video. I saw the write-up and I saw how vague the write-up was, but to the case and the fact that the individual kind of didn't respond back to the department either.
Yes.
I really didn't. I'm going to kind of lean with the department a little bit here with this case, feeling that they've done their due diligence and, investigating their officer.
Yeah. Donna?
Bob, I have the video queued up if we want to show that 3-minute portion. Just let me know.
Donna, did you have any comments? And Rodney or Donna, do you need to review the video?
I would like to see the video. I mean, I've read the comments, I've read the reports, but even in the video, I think in the explanation, it said that it was kind of inconclusive because not all of the information that was expressed in the officer's report was visible, but I'd still like to see what they have.
Donna, why don't you cue up the video and then we can continue discussing.
Okay, hang tight. There is no sound, by the way, so don't look for sound.
CCTV.
Okay.
And the video is about 8 minutes long. Most of the action is going to occur up front. But you'll see where the individual has been taken down. That's Mr. Harper, we're walking away. And that is Officer Biddle. And this is the other officer who was interviewed and said he didn't remember anything. The other officers that are moving into frame, they didn't really identify who they were and were not in the investigation other than it was noted on the video transcript.
And there was no video outside where this originally occurred at?
I believe there was other videos, but if you look at the transcript, they really didn't pick up anything that I thought was relevant. I did not see them, but based on the transcripts.
Yeah. Without any sound one, it's hard to make any determination about what's factual for me, as well as the fact that, you know, with the original incident, they said that they pursued him because of the fact that he was interfering with police business. I don't have any evidence of that either, so I don't feel like it's fair to make a determination.
Yeah, and what I'm concerned with is he was walking through the station. There was a arrest being conducted by an Officer Johnston. Officer Biddle and this other officer were maintaining the perimeter. Harper walked by and said, "Hey, let the guy go. He did nothing wrong." The interview with the officer said that he kept telling Mr. Harper to move along, and he wasn't moving along. But what I'm having a problem with is he obviously was moving along because Harper,
He had to go back and pursue him.
officer had to go after him. And to me, it got down to an issue of probable cause. Did he have, just reason to go after and to detain him. And interfering with an arrest can be an issue, but we don't have enough information. And the other problem I have was the other officer that was involved, Officer Boardley, when they interviewed him, he said he just vaguely remembers the incident. And I actually sent an email back to the agency asking if he could better describe what happened when the individual was taken down. And all they did was they sent the report back with the Officer Orlando's interview as a separate paragraph, and nothing was added. The other problem I have was the complainant was not just excessive force, but he said unlawful arrest and rude and discourteous. And the agency only addressed the excessive force allegation, which they were recommending to be unfounded. So I don't think there's anything else to see on the video. Carrie, if you want to go back to the regular screen. The other problem I have with this one is the department sent this to us in December. The incident took place on late January in 24. I don't think their request for additional information provided anything. I actually also asked when they were going to equip their officers with body-worn camera. That went unanswered. And I don't think everything here, as it was described by the department or by Mr. Harper, quite fits anything that we're seeing. So it's a bit of a quandary. Matthew or Stuart, can you give us some guidance on probable cause and what would be the standard for them having to detain this individual?
Well, it's whether they have reason to believe that that person has committed a crime. I can't tell from that.
Yeah, is it a crime to walk by an incident where a police officer is arresting another individual and you yell, hey, let the guy go, he hadn't done anything wrong?
Well, I'm no expert on that, but I don't think so. I mean, if he actively interfered, then it would be. But as you pointed out, he, at least at some point, he walked away. I mean, you have the right to ask, and I know you did ask for additional information, but you didn't really get satisfactory answers.
Right.
And it doesn't appear that they even responded to all the complaints that were made by the civilian.
Exactly. So with all that being said, I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet and open this thing up. The allegation of excessive force was what the department had as the misconduct, and their recommendation was to not administratively charge. And I think they said it was unfounded. I don't recall if they said unfounded or exonerated, but they said not administratively charged. The complainant said unlawful arrest, and he also said rude. I would put it in the category of rude and discourteous. I don't think there's a lot of information to charge the officer with excessive force. And if it was a lawful arrest, I don't think they did anything that was beyond reasonable. Whether or not it was rude and discourteous and what they said, we'll never know because we don't have body-worn camera. My concern is he said it was an unlawful arrest, and from what I'm seeing, I don't see any reason why this guy should have been detained. You have a right of freedom of speech. I know this is not a really nice part of the city, and these officers are dealing with some tough situations, but the way I'm reading this, I'm seeing where the officer's telling the guy to move along, and the video you see is the guy's moving along and the officer's pursuing him. So I didn't understand why he was pursuing him when he told him to move along.
Mhm.
Doesn't make sense. So,
And someone yelling out something at the officer does not constitute interfering with an arrest or police business. If he didn't exceed whatever the barriers were and whatever they were doing with the other gentleman, and then he's seen, leaving the scene, whatever, moving forward.
right.
Yeah, the problem I have with it is that we can't see the video where he actually interfered with the arrest, with the other gentleman, because that would shed a little light as to the extent of why they had to go after him. But since he actually removed himself from that situation, he took himself out of play.
Yeah, and there's nothing in the report that says that he did anything other than just yelling at the officer. So how is that interfering with police business?
That's kind of where I am. And I don't understand if the guy's telling him to move along, and in the only video we have, he was moving along.
Yeah.
So my view is there's not enough evidence to charge for the excessive force or rude and discourteous. I do think this is one where we don't make a determination of it unfounded or exonerated, but we should send something back to the department with a statement that this report failed to address not only the allegations, but their investigation fell short in supporting and describing the events that took place. And I think, again, we ought to highly recommend that this department equip its officers with body-worn camera. I do think this unlawful arrest, I don't think it was a clean arrest.
I would agree, Robert.
So with that, for excessive force, can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge? I would make the motion to not administratively charge, but it should come from a member.
I move to not administratively charge. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Donna.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Fine.
And can I get a motion that we provide a written statement to the fact that this investigation was inadequate and it lacked the detail to find the officer's conduct to be unfounded or exonerated, and that they need to provide more detailed information about the report. I also had a problem with the other officers they interviewed, because officers, in my mind, are supposed to be trained observers, and for him to just say he doesn't remember anything,
Yeah.
that bothers me.
Yeah, especially if he was involved with the use of force. I don't know why he didn't submit a report also, because anybody involved in the use of force have to describe in that use of force what they did in doing that use of force.
Well, they did not share with us any of the use of force reports, and that's something I think we ought to mention also.
Yes.
Yeah. In addition to, once again, reinforcing the need for body-worn cameras for those officers and a timeline as to when, we should expect that. It's unfair to even look at these cases, and the only thing that we have is just a general statement by the officers, and you don't have any evidence to the contrary. If a citizen makes a statement and they, said that they witnessed one thing and the officer says the otherwise, what do we have? And that's the whole point of the body worn cameras, so that you can eliminate these kinds of discrepancies.
I absolutely agree. So with rude and discourteous,
Bob,
Can I-
hold on.
Terry?
Hey, Bob, one of the things, just listening to the conversation, one of the things to consider in your recommendation is if this happened in January of 24, and I haven't seen the investigation, but the investigation is, woefully lacking in information and details and reports. Why did it take them almost a year to submit it to the ACC? So maybe in the recommendation, you might also want to consider the timeliness of getting the investigation. If you had received this in July, what would you do? Would you consider sending it back with the requested information?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so now the agency has painted the committee into a corner by not giving you enough time to do that. So their timeline has kind of dictated the outcome in large part.
Yeah. And this is when we talked about this on Friday, Judge Mitchell was on the call. And as he brought up, we don't have a PAB, and we still don't have a avenue to provide feedback to these departments other than the written report. And while there are some things I want to, I think what I want to do here is on the report that will be shared with Mr. Harper. I want to have one set of language, but I think we need to have a separate letter to the department addressing these issues, because I don't think they're relevant to Mr. Harper's case, but they're representative of some of the shortcomings of this investigation that Mr. Harper does not need to be aware of. Do people agree with that?
Yes, because this is not the first time we've had an issue with this agency.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So with rude and discourteous, can I get a motion to, and I'm going to suggest not administratively charged?
Motion to not administratively charge.
I second the motion.
Okay. And again, we'll have a written response. And then on the unlawful arrest, do I have a motion to charge or not administratively charged? And this,
I motion to charge.
can I get a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Make this a category B, level 1, letter of reprimand.
Category B, level 1, letter of reprimand. So noted.
Can
I
I get
second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Hopefully that's going to be the most complicated one we're going to see today for our Christmas holidays. The next case is Senior Trooper Thaddeus Allen, neglect of duty. He was responding to an individual who was actually responding to an individual who had a deposit on a vehicle, and he didn't like the way this dealership was handling it. He had put a deposit when he was away, and apparently he said the title was rebranded. I think he meant retitled. It was a salvage vehicle title, and he was trying to get his money back. The officer responded because apparently the individual was threatening the proprietor of the dealership, and he seemed to think that the police officer should have done a whole lot more. The officer said he suggested he should hire a lawyer, and it was really a civil matter. And that probably something the Consumer Protection Division should handle, but it wasn't really a state police. So I'm not sure if anybody had anything else to add. Where can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
I move to not. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Donna. Go ahead.
I don't declare, was the gentleman who he was getting the refund from. Maybe I misread it, that was he a police officer also?
I don't think so.
Oh,
No.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we have a motion to not administratively charge. Can I get a second?
Second.
Donna, did you second?
That was a mass vote.
I believe Kurt spoke.
Oh, Kurt. It's not in there. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And can I get a motion for it to be unfounded?
Motion for it to be unfounded.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one is PFC Brian Brader. This was a situation where the officer was responding at the workplace. I think there was a traffic incident and there was a conflict between two individuals that were driving, and there was some road rage, disorderly conduct. The officer got there after, I think, most of the incident and just pretty much told people to kiss and make up and say goodbye. So you're
Move not to administratively charge.
Can I get a second?
Second.
I disagree.
I'm sorry, Donna. Donna, second.
I'm sorry, Kurt. I disagree. This was a response to a road rage incident, and the person followed the other woman to her job, and she wanted to file a complaint against her. He failed to give her the information for victims' rights. He failed to give her any information regarding the other driver or the ability to follow up, to file an ex parte against the person in that incident. I could clearly understand the reservations and the fear, but he just didn't follow through on, and he admitted, he said he wasn't aware, of some of the policies. And I listened to his, the interview, the verbal interview that he had.
I agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, I really felt the problems that the complainant had were more with the other woman who was involved in the incident, and that the officer, he got there for all intents and purposes after the fact, and I think he was just trying to make peace with the two of them. The other woman the woman who pursued this lady was very obnoxious, in my opinion, but she said she was going to try to get the complainant fired, and which was kind of obnoxious. But I didn't see the officer's conduct in this situation as being negligent of his duty.
He basically didn't give her any information to be able to follow up, and he advised her, well, in his opinion, that he didn't think that it would, it would be approved in court. Basically discouraging her not to even go through the process. It's her right. It's not up to his opinion.
I get that, but he showed up after the fact. And I think after he got there, a lot of the pension or whatever controversy that was going on had subsided. This woman, I think, had some fears and concerns that this woman was going to get back at her, but I don't think it's the officer's obligation under this circumstances to,
even if we say unfounded or not administratively charged, we still could suggest that he needed some more training on advising people involved in traffic incidents.
I would be good with that.
And I would be good with that too.
Okay.
So we have a motion to not administratively charge. Can we get a second?
A second, unless I'd made the motion.
You made the motion.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we're not going to say unfounded or exonerated, but we will provide a comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and recommend training.
And Carrie, I want to make sure that when we do these reports, that we are, when we're not saying exonerated or unfounded, we're making a notion that in lieu of the determination, we're making these recommendations, because we did have some confusion last month with one of the officers. He didn't understand why he actually saw the department's recommendation, which was exonerated. We said it was unfounded, but had some recommendations for additional training. And he did I think want to provide a little bit more clarity in these reports. Next case is Master Trooper Christopher Bradley, allegations for rude and discourteous and failure to follow traffic and other procedures. The complaint was a Jody Allen, was stopped by the officer in an unmarked car, no uniform. He was very aggressive, said he was yelling. She was issued a warning, said the officer said the complaint was riding his bumper doing 87 and got away with a warning. Just see if I got anything else in my notes.
Well, this one, I think they sustained his.
Yeah, on the rude and discourteous, the
Yeah.
department recommended administratively charging. I also found in the report it was a failure to follow traffic procedures. I don't think you picked that up, Carrie, or the department picked it up, but this one of the things I've noticed when we get reports from the state police, if there is an allegation that they sustain, they address that. And when we have in the blue team report or the report of investigation, other allegations, they don't seem to get addressed as to being unfounded or not administratively charged. But I think we should address those. So on the allegation of rude and discourteous, can I get a motion to
Move the administrative charge.
Can I get a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this to be a category B, level 1 with a letter of reprimand?
Move for category B, level 1.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And did anybody else pick up that there was a failure to follow traffic procedures?
Failure to follow, yes.
Okay, can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Move to administrative charge.
I actually had this not administratively charged. They followed the traffic procedures. He did what he was supposed to. Apparently this guy does not work traffic, and he also had a hearing deficiency, which probably caused him to be yelling a little bit louder along the side of the road. So I think we're addressing that. But in terms of traffic procedures, I think I don't see him doing anything wrong. Did anybody look at that differently?
I didn't pick up on that one.
Well, I know the agency charged him with it.
I had them saying, or was that my comment?
They said failed to follow.
Okay. Donna, did you have a? Rodney, what traffic procedure did he fail to follow?
I guess in a way that would,
This
you
is
know,
for Christopher Bradley. I'm sorry, right?
Christopher Bradley, he was.
Yep. Was he not off duty at the time? Because that's what I have written.
yeah,
No, he was not in a state trooper uniform. He doesn't, he works in one of the peripheral activities, but he's not a traffic trooper. So he had on a shirt that said Maryland State Police. He was in an unmarked car. And because this woman was riding on his bumper, he pulled her over doing 87. And I think it was on 95.
Yeah, I'll go pull it up and to look at it, but I'm looking at the details, the notes that I put in here. I remember he yelled at her because she pulled in front of him, or she tried to pass him, and she said that she was trying to maneuver so that she could, take the next exit ramp.
Right.
And
So I think the rude and discourteous we've addressed, but the failure to follow traffic procedures, I did not. I
Or
don't
should he have been driving 87?
think,
That's the question.
well,
Well,
she just
we'll
disputed.
have that issue with every officer that gives somebody a ticket. The only thing he didn't do is call in the traffic stop.
So maybe that's why they're trying to charge him with a traffic stop procedures. But they still didn't address it.
No. So can I
So
get
are
a,
we overreaching?
pardon me?
I said, are we overreaching at this time?
I mean, we don't, do we have to address that one, Bob, if they didn't submit it to us?
No, we don't.
Well, let's keep moving then.
Well then, can I get a motion to not consider the failure to follow traffic stop procedures?
So noted.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, that's one way to.
I came in late, but I see with Stuart Nathan is now our counsel.
Yes, Paul.
Well,
retired.
I am so comfortable with that. That is one great lawyer, I tell you.
I'm only here for your one meeting.
Okay. Make it a good one, Stu. Make it a good one.
Sounds like you have some good history.
We go back to high school.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Long
Small to more.
Yes. Okay, the next case is Trooper First Class Ricardo Gonzalez. This is a complaint involving a member of the public. The recommendation was sustained. It was a vehicle incident, no injuries. Although apparently it must $26,000 in damage, which takes it to category C. So can I get a recommendation to charge or not administratively charge?
Move to administratively charge.
Can I get a second?
A second. So this was, go ahead.
Go ahead.
This was an accident caused by the officer, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get this to be a category 3, level 1, formal written counseling?
Yes.
So move. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. The next case on the spreadsheet is Trooper First Class Carlos Lima. There are two allegations of misconduct. He had retired, I believe, before the cases came to us. So we are responding that these are not within the ACC jurisdiction.
Right.
And I assume everybody agrees with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then we go to Trooper Kyle Dean. This was a citizen complaint. The department was recommending to be exonerated. The allegations are discrimination and rude and discourteous. This was a traffic stop. The complainant said the interaction was inappropriate. After she reviewed the body-worn camera, she acknowledged the inconsistencies and apologized for her conduct. And she thought she had heard a racial slur, which was not on the body-worn camera, and she had run a stop sign. So
Yeah, my note in my was jackass in the driveway. So I vote not to administratively charge.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to exonerate?
So moved.
Motion to exonerate.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then on the rude and discourteous, can I get a motion to not administratively charge?
Motion to not administratively charge.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then can also get a motion to exonerate?
Motion to exonerate.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great. Okay. Next one is Trooper Matthew Gibbons. This was a citizen complaint by a Mr. Mark Fig, rude and discourteous. My notes, just for consistency, rude and discourteous or courtesy seem to come under the same category, because I think in the report of investigation, they called it courtesy. But I think we can look at those interchangeably. They're basically saying he was unprofessional during the course of a traffic stop. He was given 2 citations on August 15th of 24, failing to abide to a control device and failing to stop at a steady circular red light. Anybody have anything they want to add?
I'd move to not administratively charge.
Can I second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this to be exonerated?
So move.
Can I get a
I
second?
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Let's go to, I guess, Officer Greenlee. This was a citizen complaint that was sustained. Failure to complete an investigation. And that he was investigating a property damage crash. This was kind of a strange situation where he was there but didn't really speak to the individuals that he gave citations to. Did anybody have anything they wanted to add? The department was recommending to its charge category B, level 1, letter of reprimand.
Move to administratively charge.
Can I get
Second motion.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this to be category B, level 1, letter of reprimand?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one is Trooper Jarvis Handy. This is a violation of criminal law while off duty and violation of civil law. I guess there was a protective order served on Handy. There was a criminal investigation alleging child abuse. The Frederick County Sheriff's Office was involved. The filing was done on behalf of a stepdaughter. At the hearing, they did not affirm the protective order. Sounds like there's a teenage daughter having a lot of teenage daughter issues.
Yeah.
And
With his, with his stepfather.
arguing with parents. So, did
So
anybody?
I have an issue with this one, and as well as the one that follows it, because I think that one was also a domestic issue with an off-duty officer. And while there are complaints, the second one, I don't think there was a complaint. It was just that he was being investigated for this, in which, it ended up, I don't know that it was dismissed, but they found it reasonable. But in these domestic, incidences, they're off duty, and yes, there's a complaint because they're going through the court system, but it wasn't necessarily a complaint filed against them, as an active officer, and their domestic issues. So I feel like in those spaces, they should be dealt with. And I understand that, unbecoming conduct of and representing themselves as an officer, but they haven't been charged with anything. They have, but also internally, I believe that they have their own disciplines, and dealing with those, the things, if something comes up with an officer and, in their private lives, if it's like chronic behavior or whatever, things that come up. But if it's not them acting as an officer dealing with a member of the public, should we be adjudicating them?
Well, they do have obligations to have certain conduct while they're off duty, and that's why these came about. And I find these domestic situations to be a bit disturbing to have to review. A lot of it's he said, she said, but in this situation, I hate to try to characterize it, but it sounded more like a teenage daughter who was had actually more issues with her mother, and there was the allegations that were being made against the trooper was not connecting any dots there.
I see Donna's point, though. Probably the letter of the law requires us, since he was a member of the public who's now making the allegation. But it's sure, if there was some internal way of handling these domestic things, it would, I think, really be helpful and probably more efficient than having us review it. But I think the letter of the law, as it's currently written, requires us to review this, because like in the handy, it was the ex-husband who files it on behalf of the stepdaughter. So it's some outside member of the public that's
Right.
making the allegation.
Yeah. And when we had our additional training in August, that was one of the things that I brought up, having unrelated parties filing the complaints. But I think for making sure everything is open to the public, and making sure public is providing a lot of clarity to these situations, that's why we're seeing these. But
I get it. I get it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really wish we didn't have to look at these type of things, and I wish the department could handle some of these things on their own. But in this situation, the way this legislation was written, it's in our ball court.
Okay.
Well,
So
on handy, I would move not to administratively charge.
on the first allegation of violation of criminal law, can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this to be unfounded?
So move.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then the second allegation of violation of civil law, can I get a motion to charge or not administrative charge?
Move not to administratively charge.
Can I get a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And can I get a motion for this to be unfounded?
So move.
Can I
A
second?
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one is Trooper First Class Matthew Hughes. Wait a minute, did I skip something?
You're right there.
Hopkins.
Hopkins, yes. Ricard Hopkins. Violation of criminal law off duty. This was, he was disciplining his stepson, Roman. And yeah, Donna, this one, I had a lot of thoughts about this because they're dealing with a child that has some psychological issues. He was abusing his mother, his older siblings, younger sibling.
Yeah.
This is one of these where I can understand the levels of discipline that parents have to go through, but I was not pleased to have to read that he woke the kid up at 11:30 in the evening, dragged him outside, and then used a belt on him. And this is one of these things where I don't think there's enough to charge him, but I wouldn't say it was unfounded or exonerated. But I would think we should make a statement highly recommending the department to offer or direct the officer to use his EAP program to address appropriate response to domestic issues and discipline issues for difficult children.
Yeah, I agree.
So with all that being said, can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Well, I move not to administratively charge, but I support that message that you just said.
Okay. And
I second.
can I get a second?
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next one is Trooper First Class Matthew Hughes. This was an incident involving an internal complaint involving a member of the public. This was a violation of a pursuit policy. The officer was traveling westbound on an eastbound lane, but he was providing assistance to another set of troopers that were following him in a suspect in one direction. And so the department did not recommend to charge, but to exonerate, not to charge. And I probably would agree to support, but I would also suggest that while we're not charging, that we would recommend the department review the pursuit policies with the officer. Does anybody have any other thoughts on that?
This was the DUI where the woman was accused of driving down the wrong way on a one-way street.
No, this was where, let me make sure I'm looking at the right one.
Matthew Hughes.
It's a violation of the pursuit policy, Matthew Hughes.
Okay.
There's actually two with him. That's the next one you're looking at, Donna.
Oh, okay.
This one, thought it may have been like on Route 40. He was assisting other officers, and he was going westbound on the eastbound, and was going to try to effectuate a stop. And he was in the they said slow lane going against traffic. But
yeah, it was on Pulaski Highway. And they said it was a good faith violation of the policies.
right.
but I would move not to administratively charge.
Can I get a second?
Second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we're going to put the additional statement into, have the department provide additional training on the pursuit policy with the officer.
Sounds good.
Okay, great. Again, Trooper First Class Matthew Hughes, it's his neglect of duty, and this is where he stopped a woman that was going down the wrong way on a one-way street, and she was arrested for DUI.
Yes.
Did anybody have anything they wanted to add to this one?
Yeah, I was challenged by this one because it took her through all of this process, doing the DUI testing and everything, ended up, arresting her. Only to my own surprise that, well, one, because they didn't have a breathalyzer on the scene. Parlaying her, arresting her, taking her, to the precinct, going through the process of doing the breathalyzer, which they found nothing. And he wanted to continue to give her another test to find, to detect other substances, which she had the right to waive. But consequently, this woman lost her job as a result of all of this. He never gave her a ticket for driving down the one-way street, but you pursued all of this process. I just, in her test that he did on the street, found nothing, or nothing that was disputable to make, declare that she was in fact intoxicated, and to, continue to carry out. I just thought it was excessive.
It's a judgment call. You observe somebody driving the wrong way on a wrong way street. The woman did appear to be a bit disoriented. So I thought and again, that's a judgment call. And, look, we've had charged officers because they haven't done what he did in this situation, because he just let somebody go. So I think according to their policies, he did everything within the policy. And so the neglect of duty allegation, I'm not sure what we would have to substantiate that.
I would no, and I wouldn't say neglect of duty, because he absolutely was extremely thorough. But I just thought that it was excessive. So no, I guess.
And Donna, this is where I get back to, we don't have a vehicle to provide additional information, or readily provide information back to departments. We don't have a PAB. And I agree, there are some stops we see, and that you wonder sometimes, why did they go this far? And actually, we've got a couple more that we're going to be talking about later that kind of fit into that category. And that's something that shouldn't have happened. But there's nothing here that I can lay on Officer Hughes as what he did as part of his neglect. And these guys are making judgment calls. It was late at night. She did admit being on certain medications. So.
Certainly troubling, Bob. I would agree with Don on that. I wouldn't want to be treated that way myself, but
Yeah. And the fact that he didn't have a breathalyzer, I mean, like, would you not, if you're going to be, that's a part of your job, that you stop people for, DUI, should you not have one available? Is that not a part of their, their operating apparatus?
That's a good question. I don't know, but I know we've had several incidents where they haven't done the preliminary breath test. And they've just done the standardized field sobriety test.
I think they take them to the barracks and they use a standardized machine to have them blow.
Right. And because the field test is not admissible, I believe, in court. The PAB.
Yeah. So the only way for them to get a breathalyzer is to be taken into custody.
I believe that's correct.
Mhm.
Well, I think under the circumstances, for at least this specific charge, there's not enough to administratively charge him.
I'll take that as a motion. Can I get a second?
Unfortunately, I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
The recommendation was exonerated. Would somebody like to make a motion for it to be unfounded or exonerated?
Move for it to be unfounded.
Can I get a second?
Second.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Okay. Next one is Officer Trooper First Class Ryan King. This was a ECI. And the departmental recommendation was for it to be exonerated. This is a unbecoming conduct on duty. The complainant was pulled over for speeding and they claimed the registration was suspended. She was issued a warning and a ticket for speeding, doing an 80 and a 65. And I think they actually did the ticket for 74 and a 65. There was also a suspended registration due to a lapse of insurance, and the car was required to be towed. So Miss Simmons was a little upset that she had to have her car towed, but does anybody have anything they want to add?
I thought they recommended unfounded.
Yes.
I actually had exonerated, and Carrie picked up exonerated.
Is that right? I don't know why my notes have unfounded.
Can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Move not to administratively charge.
Can I get a second?
I second the
second.
motion.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for it to be unfounded or exonerated?
Motion for unfounded.
Okay. Can I get a second? All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Okay. Then we go down to what happened here? Murrins. Oh, that's which we did earlier. Corporal Blake Murrins, complainant Ethel Reed. This was a traffic stop. She was calling because her granddaughter was pulled over. Said it was a citizen complaint by Mrs. Reed. Department said it was unfounded. Allegations were racial profiling and abuse of power. Basically the granddaughter said she wasn't given a reason for a stop. It was a prolonged detention, series of arbitrary tests, stopped for faulty headlight. She said it was racial profiling, abuse of power. Apparently the officer said not only was the light was out, she was had trouble maintaining her lane. Was this the woman that was coming back from gym practice or cheerleading practice? I think it may have been.
Oh, she said I remember she said she had been driving for an hour. She was coming from Hanover someplace.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, okay.
And even though he gave her a pass on the sobriety test, I'm seeing, folks and their various tolerance levels dealing with marijuana, because she admitted to smoking earlier. And he said that he could smell it in, in the vehicle as well, which she admitted to. But so I motion not to administratively charge.
Okay, for racial profiling.
Yeah.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this to be unfounded?
So move.
Can I get a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then for the other allegation, abuse of police powers, can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Motion to not administratively charge.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this to be unfounded?
So move.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we're down to Trooper Dylan Miller. This was a citizen complaint. Nicole Lucas. Department said this was, what was this for? Miscellaneous other MSP violations. Department recommended not charging and said it was unfounded. This was an incident back a year ago. This was almost funny. She doesn't believe officers, law enforcement officers should take statements from people that have been drinking. Oh, what a classic.
Oh, man.
Also, they brought up a past domestic dispute, and she said that traumatized and re-victimized her. So can I get a motion? Does anybody have anything they want to add?
Yes.
No, just don't interview drunks. Motion to not administratively charge.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for it to be unfounded?
Motion to be unfounded.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Trooper Mulhern. This was a citizen complaint department. It was a failure to furnish ID and unbecoming conduct. The incident occurred at Stephanie Waddell. I think the complaint came in from her husband. She was stopped for speeding. And she actually stopped her vehicle in her driveway and was non-compliant from the moment the officer approached her window. She was very aggressive, screaming, yelling at him to get out of the driveway. So she was revving the engine, honking the horn, drawing attention from neighbors. Husband came outside. I think it was her in-laws showed up. So the officer is being surrounded by a bunch of people. I thought he handled himself extremely well. This is actually one of these situations where I thought the officer handled himself extremely well, and a situation where there was a lot of confrontation being drawn by this woman and her husband and in-laws. Actually, the mother-in-law was very, very quiet. And I got the feeling she knew her daughter-in-law had a pretty bad driving record. And I have a feeling that's why she was not trying to comply with all this stuff. But anyway, so she was arrested. The husband actually said they kidnapped his wife. And they failed to have a supervisor respond. There were, not in addition to the state trooper, there were members from the sheriff office who actually took Miss Waddell into custody. And quite honestly, this woman was lying her teeth off. Apparently she had a suspended license or restricted license. She was only supposed to be driving to and from work. The incident took place at around 7 o'clock to 7:30. She had her kids in the car. She said she had the kids at work and she was coming in from work. She also early on said she had just picked up the kids in the neighborhood. And she denied being on 304 where he clocked her at 86 and a 50. So
All in all, I would move not to administratively charge.
I just want to know, is there some rule that says if you reach home that you can't be arrested or pursued by police?
Apparently, on the Eastern Shore, yeah. So, can I get a second?
It's like,
I second.
And can I get a motion for it to be exonerated?
so moved.
And then on the unbecoming conduct, can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Move not to
Motion to
administer.
not,
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then for this to be on, also exonerated, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Because it's a citizen complaint and because the nature of this, I'd like to also provide a statement. While we don't comment on the complainants, I do think we should say something to the effect that the ACC determined the officer should not be administratively charged and determined that he should be exonerated. And he acted appropriately in dealing with a simple traffic stop, which escalated into a confrontational situation. And the officer handled an extremely uncooperative subject and other individuals in the incident in an appropriate manner. And I'd like to add that because when these people get these statements, I don't think they understand what our determinations are in this situation. I thought it would be best to add something else. Can I get a motion to?
Yeah. I just noted that he used the proper de-escalation techniques.
yeah. And he was particularly patient considering all, so, yeah.
Okay. So, can I get a second on that?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great. Okay. Next one is Trooper First Class William Phelps. This is a citizen complaint for rude and discourteous. Department said it was unfounded. Mr. Ronald Logue, traffic stop, said that the officer was rude, made him feel scared. He was up in his face, pulled him over for doing 69 and a 50. This is where he was surprised that he found out you're not allowed to speed to pass. If you review the tape, the officer, I thought, did a very good job in a calm way of trying to explain to the individual what went on. I'm not sure if anybody had anything else they wanted to add.
No.
Could I get a motion to charge or not administrative charge?
I move not to administratively charge.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The department actually recommended unfounded. I basically felt this could be exonerated, but can I get a motion for one or the other?
Move the exonerate.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one is Senior Trooper Dustin Pope. This was a departmental collision preventable. The officer was traveling eastbound on 50, close to an exit, heavy traffic, raining, stop and go. He rear-ended, no injuries to either driver, and there were just minor damage to both vehicles.
Move to administratively charge.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I, the officer did have a prior back in April 22nd, 24. So this gives a category 1, level 2, recommend letter of reprimand. Can I get the motion?
So move.
Can I second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next one is Corporal Brian Porter. This is a complaint involving a member of the public, also departmental collision. This was preventable. Officer was exiting his residence via his driveway, and he's backed into the bumper of a car parked on the road. No injuries, minor damage. Can I get a motion to charge or not administrative charge?
Motion to charge.
Can I get, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Can I get a motion for this to be category 1, level 1, formal written counseling?
Category 1, formal written counseling.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Next one, Trooper First Class David Pratt. This was a citizen complaint for unbecoming conduct off duty. Department said this was unfounded. The complainant said the trooper was driving recklessly and dangerously, nearly hitting the complainant on a dirt road. This was a driveway that they shared. And I think the Emily Smith with the granddaughter, and it sounds like there was a lot of other history of conflict with this family living on some shared property. Did anybody have anything they wanted to add?
It just seemed like an accident waiting to happen, though.
Yeah. My view was there's not enough evidence, but this is one where I thought you can't charge him, but I would not put it as unfounded or exonerated.
I would agree with that.
He's gonna move.
Yeah. Can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
I think Donna moved not to administratively charge.
Mhm.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. And we're just going to say there was insufficient evidence to support the allegations. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one is Trooper First Class Lee Ramsey. This was a citizen complaint for an inaccurate report. The department was recommending it to be exonerated. The complainant, Deetra Gopal, said it was lies by omission, and she was arrested by the officer in August of 23 for doing 65 and a 35. She admitted to answering alcohol or consuming alcohol, refused the PBT. She said there was no reason for the stop and arrest for suspicion of driving under the influence. Does anybody have anything they want to add?
No.
Can I get a motion to charge or not administrative charge?
Motion to not administratively charge.
Can I get-
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this to be exonerated?
Motion to exonerate.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one is Trooper Ian Rollo. This is a citizen complaint for an inaccurate report. Department is recommending it to be exonerated. He was pulled over for not having a front tag. Apparently, this was a pickup truck that's used in construction sites, and apparently the front plate was covered with mud. He also said that the rear plate didn't have I guess a date sticker, something to that effect. And he realized he made a mistake and assisted with the department in, I guess, removing these violations. And in this situation, we've run into something similar to this, but I think he should be administratively charged, but we should not say unfounded or exonerated, but department should review with the officer instructions on how proper procedures for voiding a citation.
I would agree.
That's a motion. Can I get a second?
So I'm sorry, you're saying to administratively charge him?
Me too.
Not administratively charged.
Oh, okay. Okay, I second. Or
All
maybe-
say aye.
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 And we're going to make a statement that it wasn't founded or exonerated, but the department should provide the officer instructions on proper procedures for avoiding citations.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is also Master Trooper Ian Rolla. This was a citizen complaint. The part is for unbecoming conduct. The department recommended it to be exonerated. The complainant was David Ellswick. He was stopped. He said he felt threatened, made his mother feel scared for her life during the traffic stop. Said he was brandishing a baton because he was threatened to break the window if he didn't open up the window. The individual was pulled over for doing a 50 and a 55, but he was in the left lane. I think this was over on the Eastern Shore.
Impeding traffic.
Yeah, he was definitely impeding traffic. I also got the sense, if you looked at the video, the officer knew this guy did not have a driver's license, and I think he was also upset because the mother got a citation for letting an unlicensed driver drive the vehicle. But he had probable cause driving in that left lane at that speed and hindering the flow of traffic is a traffic offense. And I do have a feeling I think he probably recognized Mr. Ellswick. He seemed to have some familiarity with him based on the video. So can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Move not to administratively charge.
Can I get a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to exonerate?
So move.
Can I get a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one is Trooper Clayton Rush. It was a citizen complaint for racial profiling. Department said it was unfounded. Complaint was Joshua Johnson, pulled over for window tint, and he was given a repair or a warning and a repair order. I find any of these racial profilings when they're pulled over for window tint to be hilarious. You couldn't tell if it was a Martian in the car. So,
Well, my question was because he said it was for his back windows. So, I mean,
oh no, it was
is there-
his front windows.
It was the front one.
He had front and side windows with
okay.
full tint. Yeah. It drives me crazy when I see these cars with full window tint because I ride a pedal bike on roads every once in a while. And when you see a car at an intersection with tint windows, I'm always looking to see where the driver's looking. And I can tell you, it scares the hell out of me if I'm passing somebody with window tints. But I guess that's an editorial I didn't need to add.
No, I just needed clarity. That's all.
Can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Motion to not administratively charge.
Can I get a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this deal?
Whew, pardon me.
Bless you.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yes. Okay. And then the last one, or not the last one, but we got this, excuse me, Sergeant Anthony Wallace. This was a citizen complaint, mistreatment of prisoner. Department found that this was exonerated. Complaint with a Sherelle White. She made a description of a vague description of being assaulted and use of force before and after arrest during a DUI charge incident back in December of last year. She was stopped for not maintaining the lane, and the officer conducted the standardized field sobriety test, then did the PAB. But Based on the video that I saw, I did not see any mistreatment. Did anybody have anything that they saw that was different?
No.
Can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Motion to not administratively charge.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this to be exonerated?
Motion to exonerate.
Can I get a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Then we go back to Officer Sosnick. There's
4 charges.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charges, inaccurate report, 2 inaccurate reports, unbecoming conduct, impaired driving enforcement program, impaired driving enforcement preliminary breath test. And this is again one of these reports that had a lot of information that really did not come out to the particular allegations that were cited here. I think there were maybe like 5 different type of incidents, and really 2 of the allegations support the charges of misconduct that are listed here. But did anybody want to get into detail as to what's here, or should we move forward? On the first one, the inaccurate report from May 3rd, 23, can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
I think they sustained, the department sustained that.
Yes. Yep.
I moved administratively charge.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor, say
Aye.
aye. This is a category C, level 2, 3 days loss of leave. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the second inaccurate report from April 9th of 23.
Move to administratively charge.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for a category C, level 2, 2 days loss of leave?
So moved. Bob, I have it at level 1. Why is it level 2?
The one, okay. There was a prior,
Okay. All right, I just want.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
it's a good point because the next one is an unbecoming conduct.
Yeah.
And the departmental recommendation was category C, level 1. And I think it should have been a level 2 because the actual charge that was at level 3 was also an unbecoming conduct. So, but let's stay on this one. So we're at a category C, level 2, 2 days loss of leave.
Okay. All right. I'll move that as discipline, appropriate discipline.
Terry, what were you saying? Terry, were you saying something?
No, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. The next one is the unbecoming conduct allegation. Department was recommending a category C, level 1, 3 days loss of leave. Can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Motion to charge.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And this, I think, should be a category C, level 2, 3 days loss of leave because he had a prior within 3 years.
Okay, so we know that.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 The impaired driving enforcement program, the preliminary breath test, department was recommending charging it a category A, level 1, formal written counseling. Can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Charge.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Can I get a motion for this to be a category A, level 1, formal written counseling?
Category level 1, so they know that.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And then on the impaired driving enforcement program, preliminary Beth test, can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Charge.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And can I get a motion for this to be category A, level 1, formal written counseling?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The next two cases are Corporal Ravi Nastavagel, and this is neglective duty, and Sergeant Michael Bowie. These were related to the Sosnick. It was my feeling on this one, it's outside of our jurisdiction because it didn't involve a member of the public. The allegations of neglective duty were to failure to review Sosnick's reports that saw the issues that we were addressing above. And this, to me, is a supervisory issue, and the connection to the member of the public is, it's not a direct relationship. It's Sosnick's the one that had the relation to the public. The allegations with these officers are with Sosnick's behavior, not the member of the public.
I agree.
Do the other members agree?
I second.
Okay.
Okay. I know they said that they didn't have sufficient evidence to charge those two.
Yeah, but because, and I'll make a comment on the reports that the neglect was not reviewing Sosnick's reports and did not involve a member of the public.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Bro.
Okay, now we're down to Maryland Capitol Police. And I think these are both departmental accidents. First one is Sergeant Luke Montgomery. Departmental accident that was preventable, occurred on August 29, 24. He was exiting a parking space and struck the vehicle in lane 1. Minor damage, $1,200 damage, no injuries. So can I get a motion to charge or administratively charge?
Move to administration. Yeah, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this to be category 1, level 1, formal written counseling?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then the next one was PFC Brandon Griffin. He rear-ended a vehicle that was stopped at a red light. There usually no injuries, minor damage. Can I get a motion to charge or not administratively charge?
Motion to charge.
Second.
Second.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Can I get a motion for this to be a level 1 or category 1, level 1 formal written counseling?
So move.
So moved.
Second.
Great. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that wraps up our schedule. Today we heard one case from the Maryland Transit Administration. We considered 3 allegations, 2 not administratively charged, 1 administratively charged. On the state police, we can scroll down. We had 28 officers, 37 allegations of misconduct. 23 were not administratively charged, 9 were unfounded, 9 were exonerated. Others had comments, and 10 were administratively charged. And then with the Maryland Capitol Police, we had 2 officers, 2 allegations, and 2 were administratively charged. So with that, can I get a motion to go back into open session?
So move.
Second?
I second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great. We're back into open session. Gary, you there?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll just recap. The Statewide Administrative Charging Committee has completed its hearing for December 30th, 2024. For Maryland Transit Administration, we heard allegations against one officer. There were 3 allegations the department considered. 2 were not administratively charged. 1 was administratively charged. On the Maryland State Police, we had 28 officers, 37 allegations. 23 were not administratively charged. 9 were unfounded. 9 were exonerated. Others will have some comments, and 10 were administratively charged. And then with Maryland Capitol Police, we had 2 officers, 2 allegations, and 2 were administratively charged. And that's the wrap up for the statewide ACC and its hearings for the year 2024.
Colleagues, I just want to note for the record that this is my last meeting. I want to thank you all very much for allowing me to participate. Next 2025 is the centennial year for the University of Baltimore, so we'll be very much involved with celebrating this great 100 years of the university and looking forward to building on that, a great future for the university. But it's been a real pleasure, and I think that the work of the ACC has been quite beneficial for law enforcement and for the citizens of Maryland. So I thank you all very much for allowing me to participate, and I welcome Judge Mitchell as a member of the Administrative Charging Committee, and I'm sure he'll do an outstanding job, as our colleagues currently are doing.
And Kurt, we owe you a tremendous thanks. You're one of the original members of the statewide ACC. Your participation has been, I can't believe you've been able to do this and be president of the University of Maryland, Baltimore. It's quite extraordinary. And I can tell you, I appreciate your counsel and wisdom in reviewing these cases. It's been very helpful, and you will be missed. But I think the speaker has found Judge Mitchell, who will be, I'm sure, be able to walk in your shoes. I'm not sure you guys have the same size, but
now you're getting one of the outstanding jurists in the state. I think Judge, I have to commend the speaker for her selection.
Good, and we wish you well.
Thank you.
Good.
It's
And
been an honor.
Happy New Year to everyone too.
Yeah. Kurt, just
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, sir.
Happy New Year to you, Mayor. And just to let you know, I spoke to Stuart a couple of weeks ago, and he said he's well on his way to recovery. He's got a meeting with his doctor the first of the year, and he's going to tell him whether or not he can come back and continue these duties. And if I knew his doctor's name, I'd be sending him some money. Good.
Thank you all. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great holiday. Be safe, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great
Happy
one.
New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to all.
Same to you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.